Okay, for number 45,
I'm done. Go ahead.
here we go. So, number 45.
Oh my god.
First thing we're going to do is look at and determine, say, all right, do we need to determine if it's going to be a vertical or a horizontal? Well, obviously they give us a picture of what the graph is. We can obviously see that it has a horizontal axis of symmetry. But still, I'm just going to write it down. So I make sure that when I'm doing my math and following the rules that I have everything correct for the horizontal and I'm not mixing it up with the vertical. The next thing, we need to write out the standard form. So when we have a horizontal, we're going to have y minus k squared equals 4p x minus h. Okay, because that's our standard form for a horizontal. And what they're asking us in this problem is to define the standard form of the equation. Well, here's our standard form, but now what we need to do is plug in the values that we know. And we can see that we have the vertex, which is at negative 4, 0, and we're also given a point. So the vertex, if you guys remember, our parabola, we write it as hk, right? You got that one? You have this problem done?
Yeah.
You already got that? So we have hk, and then what else can we then we have just another random point that this graph goes through. So we could represent that as what, Tessa? What can we represent that point as? Huh?
I don't know, but
We could represent it as your x
Oh my
and
God.
your y.
Right.
Okay, because that's a very important point that I want you to understand. Is when what we don't know is we have the h and the k, which is your vertex. We can represent remember y and x represent any point that's on that parabola. So luckily they give us 1, so we can plug in that point. But we don't know what p is. So we're going to plug in all this information to figure out what the value of p is. So I'll just put it over here. So I have my y coordinate is 4 minus k, which is 0, squared equals 4 times p, which I do not know, x, which is 0, minus a negative 4, which would be plus 4. I'll write minus a negative so you can see it.
H, not K.
It's positive 4. Right, I was just making sure, just so everybody can see where I plugged it in, but yes, it is going to be a positive 4. I just did 0 minus negative 4. So everybody, I just want to see, I went from here to here by plugging in those points. Does everybody follow me? So now, obviously 4 minus 0 is going to give you 4 squared equals 4 times p times 4. Okay? So then we have 16 equals 16p, right? Divide by 16, divide by 16, p equals 1. So now to plug it in, we don't need to plug in our point because we want to figure out, we want the standard form is going to represent all of our points. So we want to keep the y and the x, but we can plug in our vertex now, which is going to be our negative k. So we'll just have y squared, y minus k, which is 0, so we can just write y squared equals 4 times 1, which is just 4, times our x minus h, which is going to be x plus 4. Right? Because like I said, we don't need to write the x minus the negative h and just get it back and forth. So that's going to be your standard form.
Yay.
Okay. Good. Questions?